Deal with it. Deal with it. Forest are on the push. I don't like this. Brennan. Oh, shit. Oh! Joe Lolley, the shitbag. I'll tell you what. Shit the bed. Chris, whatever. I don't know what to say, people. You know what I want to say? I want to say this football is ass. Of course, that was then, and this is now. We're still a little bit sore about Barnsley, but this weekend, it's all about vengeance. Once again, we're in another match preview, this time looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' latest match, away days at Nottingham Forest, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers' latest championship relay. World football, what are we going to know here? Underwaruski, that's right, folks. Okay, so let's get it out of the way. I know I didn't do a review or any reaction to the Barnsley game. I was just that down in the dumps, and I'm telling you, I've never been that down in the dumps in a long time. It was just the whole manner of everything, the team selection, the performance, the aftermath, the pre-match, everything just didn't go the way I wanted, and it's just I've just got sick of it. Just got sick of it. And today or this weekend, it's a chance for us not to get back into no playoff hunt. I admit at this time of asking, that dream is over. But what we have on the agenda is a small matter of revenge. Of course, Nottingham Forest with a last-minute winner at Ewood Park, and we hope to rectify that this weekend at their place and put them back in the old relegation mire. Of course, we'll talk all about that in a minute. Of course, before that, I want a big shout out, of course, to the Patreons. You know who you are, the VIP band of brothers. So what I'm talking about is, of course, we've got a brand new Patreons, boys and girls. Let's give them a round of a bloody applause. Absolutely fantastic. What they did, they went to this link right here, patreon.com/Roverseas. It should be on your screen right here, right now. And they decided to pluck their belief and their faith behind me. And of course, as we continue to create content that gets you access to all the old previous posts and of course future posts, which I am working on, believe it or not. It's just I'm a little bit snowed under with a lot of stuff going on. These literally snowed under, the snow outside, and I can't move, but of course feel free to jump in if you want to and support the channel in another way. You could join at any level you want, even in between them, you just don't even know. So do appreciate a big shout out to Tom Beresford coming back, of course Alan MC, you know me. I said Alan MC, you know me, of course. So big shout out to those guys. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end right here, of course, to take a look at the next round, of course, the match for us, which is Nottingham Forest. That's right, of course, two juggernauts. Realistically, shouldn't be at this level, should we? We shouldn't be. Of course, Forest were on the cusps of the playoffs last season, but of course, different kettle of fish this season, and at the moment they are. They're on the climb. Of course, they've had a terrible start, but of course, Chris Hughton's come in and he's done a fantastic job to grind them up the old table a little bit. But of course, Nottingham Forest will be our opposition or our host this weekend. Of course, last season finishing in 7th under Sammy Lamucci. Of course, Chris Hughton pulling the strings these days, and they've probably just got aspirations now for mid-table, and I think they could do that, if not better than that as well. Of course, they've been down in the echelons for the most part of the season. It might be a little bit ambitious to say that they're there, or a little bit bold to say that they're out of it, but it still is a lot of points to make up if they are to shoot up into those top half and beyond. But anyway, let's take a look at the stats that matter here. Of course, it's games now. We're talking about games. Now, these are, what am I looking at here? These must be the away games. The away games for Rovers, or is it? No, it is actually both combined here. Of course, Nottingham Forest playing 30 games in total this season. Rovers played 29. On average, both of the sides scoring on average about a goal a game. Rovers used to be two goals a game, but of course those averages have gone down now, so of course we'll take a look at those and break that down in a minute. But on average we put in about 14 shots a game compared to their 11. They pick up around about 2 yellow cards to our 1. Of course no red cards, which is a good stat to have. Corners about 5 apiece, but we're shit at those anyway, so don't even think about it. Kicking on further, we of course they pick up 14 fouls on average every 90 minutes. We have about 11. We're bigger in the air, we're better with possession, of course we're better with pass success rate, but of course what the tail of the tape really wants to see at the end of it is of course a positive scoreline for Blackburn Rovers. Now I'm at that point where a draw away days at Nottingham Forest is just not good enough. It really isn't. We've been mugged off since November with shit show performances, diabolical displays, and flattering to deceive with some of the wins that we had. The likes against Middlesbrough, the likes against Birmingham, the likes against Rotherham and Millwall. All these wins that were 3 points in the bag, but realistically the performances on the pitch actually matched, if not worse, than some of the defeats that we had. So it's beggars belief that that's what's gone on since November. When we were playing Nottingham Forest back in August, I think it was, we were playing, whenever at the start of the season, we were playing pretty good football at that point, even though that we lost this game. And after this game, we responded with some positive results as well. So I'm hoping somehow we can go back to those ways, but right here, right now, as of recording, it feels like a world away. There feels like some animosities going on around Ewood Park, which is causing a bit of disjointivism, for a better word. But anyway, let's take a look at our away stats to their home stats. So on average, we pick up around about 15 shots on the road compared to their 13. The other stats are pretty similar. They pick up around about 6 corners on average per game compared to our 5. Again, all the other numbers are in positive favour for Rovers. 56% aerial duel success rate, 53% possession, and 77% pass success rate. So again, all the numbers. And when you look at the grand scheme of things in comparison to the rest of the Championship, Rovers are up there. You know what I mean? And that's it frustrates the heck out of me. When you see those positive numbers, you expect to be up in there in the top 6, maybe even a little bit higher than that. Okay, let's take a look at the possession on the field here. And it's very, very similar sort of stats here. It's actually very, very bizarrely similar actually. So we're taking a look at the Forest on the left hand side. They're in the orange. So on average, 42% of all their possessions in the middle third, 28% of all their possessions also in the opposition third, 30% is in their own third and defensive third. So pretty much mirror that for Rovers. Only a little bit less possession in midfield, and that other mystery present wherever it is, it's in the air. Probably, or in the dressing room. I don't even know. So we're 1 point possession down. It's somewhere. It's lost in the vortex that is Blackburn Rovers. Of course, on the attacking avenues, of course, or just any possession avenues, 40% of all Forest's attacks are coming down the left hand side, 39% down the right, 21% down the middle. As for Rovers, a little less, a bit or more narrowly spread out. 30% of all their attacking avenues coming down the left, 37% down the right. The Nyambi effect when in play, 25% of course down the middle. Of course, kicking off further, of course. Shots on the day, or 53% of all Forest's shots coming through in the 18-yard box, 39% long-range bad boys, and 8% in that 6-yard box. As for Rovers, just 4% in that 6-yard box, 60% in the 18-yard box, and 36 long-range badges. And of course, where do the shots take place? 62% of all Forest shots down the middle, 16% down the left, 23% down the right. Rovers kind of similar, 17% down the right, 20% down the left, and 63% down the middle. Kicking off forward, let's take a look at the goals per game. Of course, Rovers have scored 43 goals this season, both home and away. 30 through open play, 3 set pieces, 6 counter-attacks, 4 penalties, and no own goals. Forest just a 25, 13 through open play, 5 set pieces, 1 counter-attack, 3 penalties, and 3 own goals. And again, they can see the shots per game, 14.2 on average for Rovers, 1.5 goals a game. We're on that cusps. So if we can get a couple of goals this weekend, we could push that back up to 2 on average, 2 goals a game. A conversion rate of 10%. Forest on down to 7%. Forest trying to address that in the transfer window in January, bringing in Glenn Murray. He's got a couple of goals already. Of course, Lewis Grabban also scores goals at this level, but he's drawn a blank, as does Lyle Taylor. Maybe they've got too many ingredients, or too many cooks. Too many. They're all veterans, you know what I mean? Grabban's is 30 plus, Lyle Taylor's 30 plus, Glenn Murray's 30 plus. They're all veterans. A bit of experience up there. You might need a bit of pizzazz. Of course, big bad boy Brereton wants this game, Governor. He wants this game to show them, you know what? Guess what? I can score some goals. So we'll take a look at Nottingham Forest home form here up against Rovers away. So at home, home Forest have scored 31 goals. Rovers scoring 33. On the road, is that right? Bloody hell, it's a big old stat. 22 goals coming through open play, 17 for Forest at home. 8 set pieces, 2 counter-attacks, 4 penalties. Rovers got 2 penalties on the road, 1 OG, 1 counter-attack, and 7 set pieces. And again, 12 shots per game on average compared to 11.1 for Nottingham Forest. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape here, of course. They played each other 28 times since, of course, those glory days in 1994. Rovers picking up 13 wins. Of course, Forest picking up 6. Forest's biggest win was a 4-1, probably quite recent. But of course, Rovers' biggest win, 7-0. Yes, since 1994. Oh, yes. We've scored 52 goals against Forest since 1994. They've scored 30. They're picking up around about 1.07 goals a game. We're picking up 1.86 goals a game. So heading into this, the form for Rovers is 42%. As for Forest, it's 50%. We'll break that form down in a minute. Rovers 3 defeats on the spin. Forest just 1 defeat in the past 5. And of course, we sit in 12th. They sit in 18th. Just 6 points separated two sides. In fact, at the end of this, it could just be 3. But of course, the game will take place right here. Of course, unfortunately, without any fans at the City Ground. Yes, usually it could hold around about 30,446 fans in attendance. And of course, the home of many, many great footballing memories for Nottingham Forest, of course. But unfortunately, no bueno this time around. Of course, Rovers will be hoping Mowbray can get the pull the wood over matey boy's eyes. What's his name? Chris Hughton this time around. So food for thought heading into this. Of course, Mowbray's record against Chris Hughton is not the best. He's managed against him 4 times, just winning once, losing 3 times. How about his record though against Nottingham Forest as a manager, both home and away? Well, it's pretty good. He's actually managed against Forest 12 times in his career. Again, for Rovers, for maybe Coventry, I don't know, maybe West Brom, maybe the Middlesbrough, of course. But he's managed against them 12 times, picking up 4 wins, losing just the 3 times, and drawn 5 times. Okay, let's take a look at some other stats and figures there coming at you. Of course, the top goal scorer for Forest at the moment is Lyle Taylor with 5. Graham's got himself 3. Mowbray's got 3. Knocker's got 3. And of course, on the heels is of course Glenn Murray as well. What's his name? So has got himself 6 yellows to boot so far. Figueiredo's got 5. Knocker got 4 as well. Taylor's got himself 3. And as for the Reds, they've been quite fruitful in the red card department. At least 4 red cards. Knockart, Unyaino, Yates, and Ribeiro all get themselves red cards. As for Rovers, of course, Adam Armstrong needs to charge with goals. He's got himself 20 this season. Gallagher's got 4. Elliott's got 4, and Johnson's got 3. Those numbers have really been pretty much the same since November. So that's where we're lacking. Of course, kicking on further though, Bradley Johnson's picking up 6 yellows to boot so far. I'd love to see him back. We missed that bite in midfield. Lennon with 6. Douglas got 4, and Rothwell's got 4, and of course Darren Lennon, the one and only man with a red card this season. Let's take a look at the table for the time being. Of course, like I said, Rovers is into 12th, Forest into 18th. We're taking a look at both home and away form right here, right now. Of course, where are we? Of course, Rovers are playing away. So on the away side of things, we played 15 times, winning 5 of them, losing 8, scoring 22 goals and 18 conceded, picking up a total of 17 points. As for Forest home form, they played 15 times at home, just winning 4 of them, losing 5 of them, and drawing 6, kind of like evens, kind of Stevens if you break those numbers down a bit. And a goal difference of 0 with 18 points picked up on the road. This is my starting 11s for both home and away sides here. I've got Samba between the sticks, Bong, Worrell, Figueiredo, and Christie. We might see a change at the back 4 there. Christie may not be there. We've got Cafu, not that one, but another one. And of course, James Garner coming out of loan from Manchester United, formerly on loan at Watford earlier in the campaign. They've also got Kredevidovic. I believe he's on loan from West Brom. He comes in there alongside Freeman and Knockart. A very, very attacking trio there. Of course, a little bit of experience and nous up top with Glenn Murray. That's my suspicion that he'll be up top, but it could be Graben, it could be Lyle Taylor. I just don't know. It is this is my hedge, and of course I've actually mixed it up a little bit for Rovers. Now this is not what Mowbray will go for, but he should go for this or something along these lines, and I think it's the best way forward. I've got Kaminsky between the sticks. I've got Branthwaite. I've got Lennon should be in the middle there. Howard Best on the right hand side of a 3-man defensive core. Now I've put in Elliott here because the fact that the Nyambe issue is bizarre, and he wasn't included last time around. So I want to get Elliott in here at some way. So I'll put him as a sort of wing back, which means he can go forward. He can also track back as well. But he needs to be in this team, and you could even maybe possibly switch Travis into that role. But you need Elliott in there. So, of course, then you've got Douglas at left side, of course, provides set pieces. Travis, of course, provides the bite. Corey Evans, on paper, I know, gave him a bit of a hard reception the other day when he came on for Barnsley. But on paper, when he's fit, he's probably a good partner for Travis. Those two, would form a nice little bond there. And I also could put Bradley Johnson in that argument. So the two currently, I would say, best defensive midfielders for Rovers on 4 when they're fit are these two. And it optimises this formation, or puts Bradley Dack in his stronger position, which is attacking midfield, in that little cubby hole right there. And then we've got 2 men up top. We've got Little and Arge, of course. We've got the pace of Adam Armstrong. We've got the height. And, of course, the trickiness. Bambi on ice, of course. Sam Gallagher leading the charge. You could put Big Bad Boy Brereton up there as well. But, I don't know. You can't play them all. You cannot play them all. So this is what I would go for, Mowbray, if you're listening. I know we're tight. I know we're airtight, good buddies and all that. But this is what I would go with. But, of course, just with Harbour Bellis over here. And, again, if you want to put Nyambe in here, then maybe you could put Elliott up top with Armstrong, or I don't know. You would maybe, I don't know, go with one up top, perhaps two attacking midfielders. I don't know, but that's just my take on it. Heading into to take a look at the home and away form then. Coming at you, of course, Forest coming at you with this form. Just one defeat the past 6 games at the City Ground. That was against Middlesbrough, 2-1 loss. But of course, without a win in 3, you could look at it that way. As for Rovers, back-to-back defeats on the road, and of course, back-to-back shit shows on the road. In fact, look at these last 6 on the road games. We got 2 wins in there, but those were shit. The Birmingham one was shit. The Middlesbrough one was fluky. But I was taking those. I was happily to take those 3 points. Of course I was, but realistically, when you look back at it, it was all shit this last 6. Kicking off further, let's take a look at the recent encounters between these two sides. Of course, Forest winning 2 of the last 6, Rovers picking up 3 as well. This is, of course, all at the City Ground. So we have a favourable return when we come here, of course, and we just picked up a draw as well. Of course, last season, Joe Lolley was on the score sheet again, hence the vengeance for Joe Lolley. Lewis Grabban with a brace, of course. We got a couple of goals there from Joe Warren, the big fat OG, and Stuart Downing as well. But prior to that, we were unbeaten in 4 encounters at the City Ground. Of course, 1-2-1 in the Championship, 1-1 a couple of seasons back as well. There was a 1-0 win in there as well. Tony Mowbray on the score sheet, of course. Matty Fryer back in the day. But of course, those were then. Of course, this season, we played each other this season, and we talked about that 90-minute winner for Joe Lolley. And of course, he scored against us in the past 3 games, both home and away. So that's why the vengeance is there. But it's pretty even. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats, 4 overs against Nottingham Forest in all competitions. This is our journey so far. We take a look at it. Of course, we exploded onto the scene, and Forest exploded into the relegation zone. Of course, we had opposite starts to the season, but of course, at the minute, we're kind of cruising to end up both in mid-table obscurity with nothing to fight for, no relegation, no promotion, nothing. But of course, it's still got a third of the season left to turn it all around. I'm trying to get myself all hyped up and positive about something, but I can't at the moment. We need, of course, look at this sharp decline. They're on a sharp rise, maybe kind of trailed off a little bit, but it is a turning point. We need to show our quality to end the season strongly. If we could end up in the 8th, or higher, we could maybe spin this to be a positive season. Of course, heading into this, out of this, of course, these are both the 5 games for both of the sides, both home and away, of course. Form book for Nottingham Forest, they've just lost 1 to the past 5, so pretty good form on that one. Defeat was against Swansea on the road. As for Rovers coming into this, it feels like a whole flipping nightmare. Just a couple of wins out of the past 5 games, but 3 defeats on the spin. That's the one. That's the stat you got to take away with this year. Is we are not winning at the moment, and we've been performing poorly. This is the table as it stands. Look at QPR on a bit of a high kick themselves, as are Cardiff and Derby. 3 teams there that were on the way to nowhere really. But of course they've dug their seasons out. As have Swansea. Millwall also doing tremendous, unbeaten in the last 6 games. Forest are down in 11th. Rovers we're down into 14th at the moment. Of course, it's not all doom and gloom, but it's not pretty either. Meanwhile, the home form, we're looking at Forest here. They sit in 10th, picking up 9 points out of possible 18. Of course, Rovers are 13th, but we don't care about that. What we care about is Rovers' away form, and of course, our away form is 15th. Pretty shitty on the grand scheme of things. Not as shitty as some others, but pretty shitty indeed. So kicking off further, of course, heading out of this one, Rovers will be taking on Watford at Ewood Park against Coventry. It's actually back-to-back home games, back-to-back chances there to get some points on the board. And I still see the next 4 games, including the Forest games, realistically, are games that we should get points out of. But of course, the mojo is bad. With a bad karma right now. We need to sort that out. So Forest, they'll exit this game, taking on, of course, Rotherham midweek. Then it's Derby County, but a fruitful one there next weekend in front of the cameras. We might even do a watch along on that one. We'll see how it pans out. Of course, next Tuesday, or the Tuesday, the 2nd of March, it is Luton Town, then Watford, and then Reading, of course, in a very, very jam-packed schedule. So you've heard a little bit of what I've had to say about the match. What about DigiCast? Well, DigiCast has been having a pick, and of course, last round she got it absolutely wrong. Well, hopefully this weekend she gets it absolutely right. So DigiCash, show me what you got. BRFCS forum, of course. I am recording this on Friday. it's afternoon time out in England. It's not been that explosive at the moment. It's actually just posted on here the match thread. Windy Miller kicked us all off. Silence speaks volumes. It's just gone whatever afternoon on a Friday. No match thread. Will anybody we're watching think I might, in some sort of sick, perverted, self-tortured kind of way, expect the same crap as the last few matches? Mowbray out. Displaced Rover said this. Won't be watching, hoping for a 5-0 Forest, the end of Mowbray era, and the chance for someone new to have the end of the season to work out what need before a real push next year. I expect 2-1 Forest, and we limp on. Well, people, while we've got this, we could address this, and people need to understand that it's not going to happen. As much as we want it, we see it, we think that's the best way forward, and it probably is the best way forward. I was very, very angry, very upset about the performance, the sort of whimpering manner that we displayed on Barnsley on midweek. And no offence to Barnsley, they came, they did their own thing, they got the points, and of course they're on a nice regime themselves. But yes, I was disappointed, still am disappointed, and if things were to pan out that Mowbray does leave, then fair dues. I'll champion whoever comes in, even hopefully it won't be anything drastic. But realistically, the grand scheme of things, he ain't going anywhere. Him and Waggett are tight, airtight. The only thing that needs to happen if we want change, and I'm not going to orchestrate any change or anything like that, but pressure needs to be on Waggett. Waggett needs to be facing the wrath from upstairs to say, you know what, we need to either get rid of Mowbray or we're going to get rid of you, because we need performances to change if they have any aspirations or any dreams. They put a lot of money into Rovers. They keep on doing it year in, year out, and surely one day somebody within the Venky's core has to go, you know what, we should be pushing for top 6, if not more than that. And to be honest with you, you know what, I was angry and I vented my rage, but I will back Mowbray this season. And I would love the fact, I would give him the season if the fact at the end of the season, if he doesn't get top 6, which is still possible, yes it is, it's a long shot, but it's still possible. If he was to get top 6, then I would keep him on the books for another season or something. But if he doesn't get top 6, which he did say the goal was for at the start of the season, then I would hold him accountable for his words and say, you know what, you had your chance, we backed you, we gave you the money, you spent it on 12 million on 2 strikers that were duds. For the time being, they're duds. They're still young. They can still turn their season around or their careers around. But you've had your chance. Now I think it would be best to step aside. So, and he might step aside. He might willingly step aside. You know, I know he keeps bringing up Middlesbrough and things like that, but that's his home club and all this kind of stuff. So, but he ain't going anywhere. I don't think Waggett's going to go push him out the door, because they're airtight buddies, and it's probably one way or the other they got themselves the gig and they're keeping it at mates rates. So us wanting the change or Mowbray to step aside or to get fired is not going to happen. The only way things will change if Mowbray decides, you know what, I've had enough. I can't redo this, and he might do that. He might get rebooted. He might think, you know what, yeah, it's time for some fresh legs to come in here and turn it all around. But we will have to wait to see. But until then, and always, I will back the Rovers. I'll back Mowbray. I will get upset. But I will, because I'm passionate about the Rovers, passionate about the cause. But anyway, yeah, check out the brfcs.com forum. They are always vocal over there. Well, let's take a look at what else is going on out of the Championship. Let's take a little look at this then, shall we? Of course, these are the stats that fail to deceive, or faltered to deceive here, of course. As for the top 5 possession teams in the division, of course, Norwich lead the charge there with Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Blackburn are up there, of course, and Brentford as well. But so realistically, I'm bitching and moaning about Huddersfield. They're also like about Rovers, but Huddersfield are also up there. Bossing possession, bossing pass accuracy, probably bossing shots per game, but they are struggling as well. As for the most aggressive side, Forest are up there. They sit 4th at the moment. As for, of course, aerial duels, Rovers are up there in 3rd spot at the moment, doing good. Shots per game, Rovers are 2nd on that chart there. And, of course, pass accuracy, Rovers were doing well, but unfortunately fallen off the face of the earth there. Of course, kicking on further, though, let's take a little look at what else is going on this weekend. Of course, Friday, it is today, of course, Watford taking on Derby, but, of course, Saturday, it'll be Coventry, Brentford, Norwich against Rotherham, Huddersfield against Swansea, Cardiff against Preston, Stoke against Luton, Forest, Wednesday against Birmingham, Reading against Middlesbrough, QPR. against Bournemouth, of course, Bristol City against Barnsley, Millwall against Wycombe, and of course the game of the day will be, of course, Forest at Rovers, and I will have a watch along, of course, on the channel. Make sure you come by for that one. Bang the old subscribe. We did one of these at Ewood Park, and it was, of course, last minute winner for Nottingham Forest. Hopefully it'll be at least level of the playing field with a win for Rovers. Let's take a look at the table as it stands in the grand scheme of things. Of course, Rovers sit in 12th, but a win for them this weekend. Guess what? We could get back into the top 10, all the way up as high as 9th. As for Forest in 18th, a win for them, they could also go as high as 16th. Any other potential? Of course, the top 6 will remain the top 6. Bournemouth could get themselves right back in the hunt with a win to climb maybe above Reading into 5th, and a win for Reading themselves. They could go as high as 4th. A win for Watford in 4th. They could go as high as 2nd. Oh my goodness. As for the foot of the table, anybody from 20th down could get in the old relegation spot. So we could see the likes of Coventry or Rotherham go back in there at the expense of Sheffield Wednesday. Birmingham. Let's take a look at the top goal scoring shots at the moment. Of course, Tony has broken away from the chasing pack. 5 goals clear over Adam Armstrong, who did score in that midweek loss to Barnsley, as did Lucas Chow. So it is getting quite tight up the top there. Of course, realistically, Tony needs to have a couple of suspensions or something like that. Team Pukki is gaining on us as well, as is Kiefer Moore. But of course, Harvey Elliott tops the charts alongside Ivan Tony and me. Michael Elise for Reading, I hope that's his name. They've got themselves 9 assists so far this season. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the old thumbs up, and if you're new, bang your subscribe and get your bang out today with all things Blackburn Rovers later, Championship Day. Whoa, football, what are we going to do here? Under Warruski, yes, in fact. I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward. My focus is about revenge. I don't care about the state of play, the Nyambe contract situation, even though I am. All the other stuff that's surrounding with the 3 defeats on the row. All I'm worried about is getting a bit of vengeance myself on Joe Lolley, who scored against us for the last 3 games, and of course that last minute winner back at the start of the season. I want that to be rectified. We owe them something. We owe them something this weekend. They, of course, new manager bouts with Chris Hughton back in the day. He's had his new manager bouts. It's now time for Tony Mowbray to strike down some fear, some vengeance, some anger. Let loose on flipping Nottingham Forest. We need something. We need a stellar performance. We don't need a scrappy dappy do 1-0 win. We need a 3-0 away day spanking against these boys, former European Championship whatevers, and of course last season playoff bottlers. We need to do this. We need it for the fans. You need to show us what you're all about, Mowbray. Let's get the boys rolling. Let's get the boys screaming. Let's go out there and smash them 3 or 4-0 and get the boys, get the morale back, and of course reboot, because of course right around the corner, if you get a win here, guess what? It looks pretty. It looks promising against Watford at Ewood Park, and then the whole season could be back on track. It's up to you, Mowbray. I'm giving you now. I've given it to you. I'm taking it. You're taking it over, and now you're going to let loose on Saturday. We'll be there watching it, of course, and hopefully there'll be goals galore. Until then, I'll see you all so soon. Be sure to give the video some love in. Smash the thumbs up, smash subscribe, and I'll see you all next time again for the watch along on Saturday. See you then. Out. Go Rovers. Smash them. 3-0.